Yo, what is up guys, your boy Sales here, bringing you guys a video about my Madolche deck profile for post Savage Strike. This deck is very cool with the Pudding Cessor coming out in Savage Strike as a rare, I believe. And this card makes this deck more consistent. Obviously, this deck still struggles going first, and there's a lot of consistency issues, and just dealing with hand traps in general is just really hard for this deck. You do have Call by the Grave and other stuff to extend your plays, like double summon in this deck, but this deck does struggle against hand traps and going first still. And there is a card in Dark Neostorm that's called Glass Souffle. It helps going first to protect your monsters from other monster effects, but there's not really any disruption in this deck. That is another problem with this deck. It just doesn't have any disruptions. If you see all the meta decks, they have either disruptions or they have floodgate effects like the Colossus and other cards. So let's get started with the deck profile. We play 3 Angeli. This card special summons a Madolche monster from the deck by tributing itself, so it's really good. It showed that it was really good when it was released in Primal Origins. So yeah, this card is really good. It's also level 4, so you can make the Queen. So next up we play the Hoot Cake. Hoot Cake is really good because you can banish a monster in your graveyard, and if you do, you special summon a Madolche from your deck. This card is just really strong. Again, you're just digging through your deck, special summon as many monsters as possible, get out the Queen, spinning cards, and then OTKing your opponent. So that is really good for the archetype. Then we play 3 Madolche. Madolche is your searcher. When it's normal or flip summon, you can add one Madolche monster from your deck to your hand. Really good. Then you play 2 Messengelados. I do play 2 because you do play the Mew. So this is really good. Messengelado. When it is special summoned on the field, you can add a Madolche monster spell and trap card from your deck to your hand. But it has to have, well, you have to have a beast monster on the field to activate the effect. So this card is really good for searching out your chateau and your ticket. Ticket is really important because it gets more bodies on your field. Really strong. And then we play 3 of the Mew. Mew is really good for getting more bodies on board. You want to have bodies on board so you can OTK. It's just very important. So having Mew to spell summon any Madolche from your hand is just really good. And it special summons the Pudding Cessor, which gets its effect when it's special summoned. Get into that in a bit. The Pudding Cess, you're mainly going to be special summoning this off of the, Chocolate mode. Or, well, having it as material with the Chocolate mode. So you can special summon more monsters. And with the Pudding Cessor, you can make it level 4, and you can link, go into your Queen and then go into your Chocolate Mote or whatever it's called. These names are pretty hard, but yeah, you're just gonna go into the XYZ. I'm not even gonna pronounce most of these names because they're pretty hard. But Pudding Cessor is really for the chocolate. So we do play 3 Pudding Cessor. This card is really good. When it's special summoned, you can special summon a Madolche monster from your deck and lower its level by 1. And if you have no monsters in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. So this card is really good. It's level 4. It just gets more cards out of your deck. It's really strong. Again, it's not what they needed. They needed more disruption. They needed more consistency. Also, they probably just need something that's really strong going first, like a trap card they can search. That is really good. I think there is a Madolche Knight, I believe. Madolche Knight it's not that good, but again, it is searchable by your Messengelado, I believe. So maybe like a counter trap is just really good in this deck or something like that that will fix the deck going first. But for the most part, you're going to be going second with this deck. So Pudding Cessor, really good. Then we play 3 Call by the Grave. Obviously, this is a combo deck. You want to stop your hand traps. So Call by the Grave is really good. It also stops something like Filter of Snow and stuff. Any, graveyard effects. So this card is just really good. It stops Ray as well, which is pretty important in the meta. Then we played 3 double summons. I do not like Brilliant Fusion in this deck. It adds too much bricks into this deck. There's not a lot of space. You want to have your Madolche cards in hand. You want to not be locked into, Madolches, because you're going to be locked into Madolches if you use the Pudding Cessor. You're going to be using Pudding Cessor like 9 times out of 10. You're going to be using this card. So you're going to be locked into Madolches. You don't want that to be in your hand with Brilliant Fusion. I mean, Brilliant Fusion is only good when you have, like, Madolche. Madolche is the most important card. Obviously, you do have cards to draw into it, but I just like double summon more because you don't have to go under the restriction of the Madolche card, which is Pudding Tester. So double summon is better in my opinion. You can play Brilliant Fusion if you want to. You have to add more bricks like Garnet, and then you have to add the Trick Clown engine and all that other stuff. I just didn't like it. I like double summon more. It's just better because you don't have to play bricks, and the restriction on the Madolche Pudding Sasser, where you only can spell summon Madolches for the rest of the turn, is just like, I really don't like it. So, for the next card, we have Chateau, which is really good. It returns all your Madolche monsters in the graveyard to the deck, and then you get 500 attack and defense on all of your Madolche cards, so it makes OTKing much easier. And then, yeah, it's just really, really good. Then we play Ticket. Ticket is amazing in this deck. Amazing. It just makes OTKing a lot easier when a Madolche card is returned from your side of the field or graveyard to the hand or main deck by a card effect. If you control a fairy type Madolche monster, you can special summon the cards. But if you don't have a fairy type Madolche monster, you add it to your hand from the deck. So Ticket is really good for getting bodies on board from your deck. It's just really, really strong. It makes OTKing a lot easier. Ticket is very strong at 2. It's searchable by Messenger Gelato, so you don't really need 3 and 3 of the field spell. You don't need Terraforming as well because you're just going to search it with Messenger Gelato. I believe, yeah, Messenger Gelato is not once per turn, I believe. It's not once per turn, my boys. So you could search Chateau, then you can search Ticket, make, all of these link shenanigans. Well, not really links, but you know what I mean. Queen, Chocolate, going to your Sistart, OTK, easy, right? Then we play 3 Pot of Desires. Pot of Desires is really good because you want to get to your combo pieces. You want to OTK. You want to have as many cards in your hand as possible. That is why we play the new Pot of Indulgence, or I think it's Extrava. I don't know, extra something. The new card, Pot of Indulgence, is really good for drawing more cards. You want to have a lot of cards in your hand so you can OTK, have as much combo pieces as possible. It's just really, really strong. Then we play 3 copies of Twin Twisters. So you want to get rid of back row. Back row is your weakness. If you get hit by any back row, it's probably going to be the end of your turn or even the end of the duel, because this deck is a one-trick pony. You want to OTK, and if it gets stopped, you lose so much advantage and you kind of flop. So Twin Twisters is just really, really good. And then we play 3 copies of Impermanence just as the best hand trap in the meta. Then for our side deck, obviously, we play a lot of these cards, just things going first and going second. For obviously, these for going first, your Solemn Scolding, Solemn Warning, or Strike. Then, 3 Red Reboot for the trap decks. The new Illusion Dragon Phantasmia is really good for decks that summon Link monsters, so you can just summon this on the field. It's a +1. It stops targeting. It's really, really strong. It's 24 on board, and it gets out on your turn. So when you have something like, your Pudding Sasser, it doesn't have to be in the graveyard. So you're going to have easy access to spell summon this card. I'm thinking about playing Gamma over Ash because it banishes itself during the end phase. But Ash is just too strong of a card not to play. So, and you also have the Mew to spell summon the Pudding Sasser to get the effect. So it's not that big of a deal. So side deck is all up to your personal preference, but I just like Ash better because it's generic. And then we play, 3 of all of the Madolche extra deck monsters because we do play Indulgence. Indulgence banishes up to 6 cards face down from your extra deck randomly, and then you draw 2 cards. So you want to have 3 of each so you don't, potentially banish 3 of them. I know there is a chance for that to happen, but it's highly unlikely for them to banish all 3 of them. But Sistart, it protects your spell and trap cards. Queen also, bouncing 2 cards back into the deck. And then the Chocolate, it gets more monsters on the board when it has the Queen or, Cess on board, or as his Xyz material. God, I'm messing this up really bad. But the rest of the extra deck is just really good link monsters like Brawl Sword and Borlo, Phoenix, and then Unicorn, just for spinning cards. Phoenix obviously to hit back row. So this deck is very, very strong. I think I don't know if this deck is gonna do well. I think it's going to maybe do something out of regionals, but at YCS, I think this deck just flops because consistency is just not. It's just not that good, and there's just a lot of trap decks. There's a lot of decks that run a lot of hand traps, and yeah. But this deck is very fun, and it can OTK pretty easily. So yeah, this deck is just really cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll probably be doing a combo video if you guys want that to happen, because I know a few combos. I know I'm not too experienced with Madolches because I didn't play it since about like 2015. That's when we had no extra monster zone, and we had Invoker and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'm out. Peace.